online students, I'm audible. Okay. So now it's time to move to the further. I think so. In the last session, we started with the part of that inheritance. We did the importance of inheritance. What is virtual memory management? What is the definition of inheritance? What is the base class? What is the derived class? And what is the virtual memory management meaning? Advantages of inheritance. At the same time, definition of various inheritance types, types of inheritances. At the same time, we discussed about various definitions: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. And the part of it, multiple and hybrid inheritance also discussed. This is multiple and hybrid inheritance is also discussed. And we started very important programmatic discussion in the class. That is how to inherit the data members and methods from one class into another class. So we wrote the syntax and I gave you the explanation also for that. And for every class in Python, there exists a predefined class. There exists something is missing here. There exists a predefined. There exists a predefined superclass. Predefined superclass. Predefined superclass called object. In other words, object class type is a super type of all the data types. This is what Sai specified it. So last session, this is what I discussed it. And we went to programming also. Some two examples, I hope I discussed it. So simple examples. So let me close that. So we are having non-inheritance program, separate classes written. For everything we need to create separate objects we need to create. It takes more memory space. Separate functions also we need to call. When you come to this program, inheritance program number 1, we are just creating the bottommost class object, not worrying about the topmost first class object. When I create the bottommost class object, we can call the method of the same class. We can call the inherited method also. That is what we discussed in the last class. Inheritance program 2, I went for multi-level inheritance also. There I created only one object, bottommost derived class object. I'm going to call it. If I'm going to take it as a separate object, if I'm going to take it as a separate object here, something like this, if I take it as a separate object like this, again I need to create O3 is equal to C3 of. So I need to write it over there. O3 dot, what I'm writing here, display 3. So try to run this. Here I'm going to get it. 3 objects, 3 functions we created. Separate memory space for object 1, object 2, object 3. Method of memory space also created in the heap. So totally 6 memory spaces are coming. So when the number of classes are increasing, memory space also getting increased. This is called performance losing. To avoid that, we went for what inheritance mechanism. We created only one object, that is the bottommost class object. Anyhow, method memory space is coming here. Display 1, display 2, display 3. Anyhow, memory space is coming. So here only 4 times objects are created. Earlier it was created here. 6 times memory space is there. It is a far better than this kind of example. When I go to polymorphism, which we are going to introduce, here we will create only 2 objects. So non-inheritance, inheritance is better. To the inheritance, we are adding extra concept called polymorphism. There I will create 2 objects. You write hundreds of classes. We'll create only 2 objects. Only 2 things will be taking memory space. We are going to look into that. So let me move to the further. So I will go to the another example. Inheritance example. Let me go for some calculated example here. One more skeleton example. Let me tell you. 4.py, 3.py, 3.py. Let me take up that 3.py. So there I'm going to take up. So here data members I want to take it. This is a method related things. Method related things these are. Now I'm going to enter it into data member related. Class C1 DE of get A. Get A. Self dot A is equal to 10. Self dot A is equal to 10. That is called one type of function. Which type of method it is? Instance method. And this is known as what? Instance data member. Instance data member. So coming to this point, one more type of class I'll write it. Class C2. Class C2. Inside of that I will DEF. Get B, I'm going to take it. Get B, I'm going to take it. Self dot B is equal to self dot B is equal to I'm taking 20. I'm taking 20. Self dot B is equal to 20. Now here I want to go for something like a main program I am going to take up. So main program tell me O2 is equal to C2 of what is happening in O2. First one, what is the data here? O2 dot underscore dict underscore of. There is no value present at this stage. It is called empty only. So it is an empty only. Now I want to get this data member B. Data member B is a part of what? Instance method. I need to call that instance method here. I need to call the instance method. So that instance data member will be added to the object. So how do you call it? Auto dot get B. Auto dot get B. So I'm going to take it get B. So I'll write it this auto dot dict of. Auto dot dict of. Try to run this code. Here I'm going to get it. B is coming. But there is no question of getting what? A. And then this get A is a function present in C1 which is not available inside of C2. So you try to call it auto dot what do you know get A, you will get error. Attribute error will be coming. Attribute error. C2 object has no attribute called get A. Not possible to call it. So how do you call it now? If at all you want so both this data member also to come over here, I need to apply what? C1 here. So that the method which is coming inside of the C2, if I call that method with respect to object of C2, I will get A also to be available in where? O2. So how do you call this now? O2. First, this is the data. Call once again what? Get A. You can call it here. This what data is coming. So here it is an empty. Here it is called P value. Here it is called A value. Try to run this. First empty, next B value, next BA value is coming. I hope it is more clear, right? This indicates. Now I'm going to take up one conclusion here. So what is the next one I want to take it? Auto dot course get A and auto dot get B because it is a very important. Oops features are very important. Overall together is called what? Auto dot underscore dict of dict of. If I run my code, it is going to be like this. A10 and then B20. A10 and B20. So this is the data we got it. Now today I want to do addition of that I want to do it. How do I do it? EAF, something like operation. Some operation I want to do it. So what should I do in this operation? I should take it as what? Auto dot, what the function name? Operation I'm saying. So inside the operation, what should I do? A value, B value, I want to add it. Tell me how do you do it now? Just add it. I want to know about it. I want to know about your talent here. How do you do it? Global keyword, ma. Global keyword. Come on. So here, quick self dot A, self dot B. మీకు ఇంకా తెలియట్లేదు అసలు బికాజ్ యూఆర్ నాట్ ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ దట్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ O2 dot operation O2 already contains what A colon 10 comma B colon 20. When you say O2 dot operation, O2 address is kept into self here. O2 address is kept into self dot A, self dot A, and then self dot B, which is added. and keeping into self.c. Self.c. Now I'm going to print the data. Even you can take local variable also, no problem. Local variable also, no problem. It is up to your choice. Want to print, want to display again here? You can. Want to display again here? You can. You can write here self.c once. So you can see the result. See that result. A, B, C is coming. Once you write without a self, if I write a local variable that I was already shown in the class, previous programming, A, B only coming, C is called a local. I can print sum is equal to comma C, I can print it. Perfect answer will be coming. Sum is equal to 30 is coming here. If you want to print them as a part of the object, you use a self. Otherwise, you need not to. Here I am writing sum of, here I am writing first value comma second value is equal to like this dot format of self dot a comma self dot b comma self dot c. So here this you try to remove this only for your understanding. I mentioned it. Try to run students and you are getting the answer called something like this. This is called what? Fixed data you passed it. You want to provide any dynamism to that? You can happily you can provide. How you can write it? Float of input of enter enter. Here I am writing value of a. Enter value of a. Here I can write it. Enter value of b. Enter value of b. Here I can mention it. Dynamically you can pass it. Enter value of b. You can say b and same. So try to run this code. Here I am going to get it. Enter the value of a and 2.3 got the answer something like this. Enter the value called 10 and say minus 10 value is called 0.0. This is called the mechanism of that. One more example if you want something like this. Try to take care in this place. Here I am trying to write 4.py 4.py. You can call another way this part. Here I am going to write it. So here this is a C1, C2. You just keep like this. What is the content of O2? What is the content of O2? ఒకటి హైదరాబాద్ దగ్గరలో ఒకటి డఫ్ అండ్ డమ్ సెంటర్ ఉంది ఒకటి. I will make you join over there. How do you go for adding how do you go what is the content of O2? Empty. So O2 dot operation. What is the operation it is going? What will be the output is going to come now? మీకు చెప్పాలంటే చాలా కష్టం అసలు. వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ టు టెల్ యూ. Attribute error. Very good. Uma, very good. Attribute error. So, how you can decide attribute error? Auto dot operation. మీ బ్యాచ్ కి చెప్పిన ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఇంకా ఏ బ్యాచ్ కి చెప్పలేదు oops లో. So many examples I taught to you. Just I want to tell you something because you are low in your talent. That's why you are low in talent. That's why I said so many examples for you. But still, you are not able to bounce by yourself. So not able to bounce back. O2 dot operation method called with respect to O2. O2 is an object of C2. Go to C2, looking for operation. Self is going to contain, which is an empty dot self dot b, where it is not containing any data member value inside of this O2. That's why it is called self dot a attribute error. So here it is going to be an attribute error. This is going to be like this. I think you are going to follow me this carefully. C2 object has no attribute called what? A. So what to do? Self.a memory space is coming because of calling A. Self.b memory space is coming because of calling B. So how do you call that functions? Here I am writing. Instead of calling from main program, I am calling from where? Derived class itself. Self dot what get B. So this is a derived class method is calling the base class method. Calling base class method. base class method from derived class, derived class method, derived class method, that to instance method, calling like this. Perfect. Calling the derived class method by derived class method itself, same class method. Already you know that. So try to run this, you will get the answer now. Enter the value of it. So something like 10.2, you get the answer called 20.2. This is an output what we got it. So derived class method can call happy the base class methods. This is another way of writing it. So let me go to the next example. Let me go to the next example. I will go to one more kind of example here. INHPROG5.py. INHPROG5.py. So there I'm going to take up. So 3.py, 4.py, 5.py I'm going to take it. Plus something like grandparent, grandparent T of get GP property, GPP, get a GPP, get grandparent property. Self dot GPP, GPP is equal to, there I'm going to write it, float of, float of, this value I'm writing it. This value I'm writing it. Get, enter the property of, enter the property value of grandparent, grandparent. So next, finished. Next I'm going to take it, class parent, class of, I'm writing there, grandparent. This is called one inheritance there. Get PPP, get parent property. There I am writing self dot, self dot. There I am writing PP, self dot PP. There I am writing enter property value of parent, property value of parent. So it is coming. Next, another one, class child, class child. What here? Parent, class parent. There I am writing DEF get CP, child property, child property, half like this. Here I am writing self dot CP is equal to, I will write it, enter, enter child property, enter child property, property value of child, property value of child, done. So which type of inheritance it is? Multi-level, multi-level inheritance it is. Main program, now I'll go for which object I have to create? Child object I have to create. Child, child object I have to create. CO dot, CO dot. If I print the content of CO right now, it is an empty. It is an empty. So here it is going to be an empty. So the empty data is going to print. So it is going to be printed empty here. So now I want to do the all the properties I want to initialize in the CO. What to do? CO dot. Which function I have to call? See here all the things. Get CP, get PPP, get GPP also. All of them are coming because I written what? Inheritance here. Suppose you don't write it. రాయకుండది రాయకండి. So you see that CO dot, you see that CO dot, what is coming? Get CP only available, not having other kind of things. Why not having other kind of things? No inheritance applied. So let us go to the same, go to the place here, parent and grandparent, try to apply the inheritance. Now if I write it, CO dot, you will see all of them are coming. So first go for what? Child property, get CP, CP of. If I print that, CP value only coming. How to call the method? I said already in the OOPS level only, classes and object level only. Very clearly I said get CP method called with respect to CO. CO is an object of child. It will go to child class looking for get CP method. If it is there getting executed, whose data members initialized into CO. If it is not there, you will get an error. I said what? attribute error, you will get it. So try to run this data, say 4, and the CP is called what? 4.0. మీకు ఎందుకు కమాండింగ్ రాదు ఊప్స్ లో అంటే ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయరు. You won't practice it. Why oops you don't practice? Because earlier programming you don't practice it. There is a generally what happens is people don't practice, they will get difficulty in getting the coding. Once you don't know coding, obviously life is closed in the software field. Coding is an important. So execute it, and I said already 78, and it is 78.0 is initialized. Now I want to place it. Next another one I want to go for it. CP dot get is CP dot get CO na CP na CO dot get of what? PP. PP I said. After parent property, I want to print the content once again. Now the line number 18 will print what? Two things it will print. CP as well as PP. So 3, and then say some 13. Say some 13. It is going to be like this. CP and then PP. Both of them are coming. Now I want to call once again what? CO dot what? Get the GPP. Get the GPP. I want to call this. I want to call this. Now see students. Now I'm going to say get the property value of child. Say 4, 14. Grandparent is something like 15. So got the total values are present into where? CO. CO. That I want to find the total property. How do you find the total property? How do you find the total property? Tell me. Total property, how to find out? Tell me. I'm going to take up in the same place D of total property, total property, total property of like this self. Now I'm going to write it. How this is going to be called? CO dot get total property, total property. Of course, total property only, total property. So it is how to call it. This flow is an ultimate. How to become an expert in coding in the whoops, this flow is important. Program flow is compulsory in all the times. Get the total property function called with respect to CO. CO is an object of child. Go to child class looking for total property. While going, CO address kept into where? Self. CO contains how many data members? How many? Madhubabulu, 3. Self.pp, self.cp, and self.gpp. 3 things are there. So I want to call it. How do you go for it? You can take local variable if you want. I can take data member also you can take. It is your requirement. Self.totp, tot property, total property is equal to self.gpp plus self.